Picture this. A child born in Luxembourg will, on average, earn $140,000 per year as an adult. A child born just a few thousand miles away in the Democratic Republic of Congo, less than $1,000 per year. That's a 140 to 1 difference. Same planet, same species, same human potential. So why does geography seem like destiny? Today, we're diving into one of the most important questions in human history. Why do some countries prosper while others struggle? The answer isn't what you think, and it's going to challenge everything you assume about wealth, poverty, and success. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we tackle big questions that actually matter. Here's the thing. The gap between rich and poor countries isn't shrinking fast enough. In fact, some gaps are widening. South Korea's economy is now 30 times larger than North Korea's, even though they were roughly equal in 1950. Singapore went from a malarial swamp to one of the richest places on Earth in just 50 years. Meanwhile, countries blessed with diamonds, oil, and gold remain trapped in poverty. So what gives? Economists, historians, and political scientists have spent decades trying to crack this code. While there's no single answer, we've identified 5 major factors that determine whether a country thrives or barely survives. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your birthplace is the biggest lottery you'll ever play. Let's start with the most obvious factor. Let's talk about something you can't control: where your country is located on the map. Geography matters a lot. Countries in temperate zones like Europe, North America, and East Asia have historically had advantages that tropical countries don't. Why? Better agricultural conditions, fewer deadly diseases, and more predictable farming seasons. Take malaria, almost non-existent in temperate regions, but devastating in tropical Africa and Southeast Asia. Before modern medicine, this disease alone killed millions and made it nearly impossible to build stable, productive societies. Even today, the economic burden of malaria costs Africa $12 billion annually. Geography isn't just about disease, it's about access. Countries with coastlines can trade easily, build ports, connect to global markets, and grow faster. But 16 of the world's 32 landlocked countries are in Africa, and shipping goods through neighbors can double or triple costs. Bolivia, landlocked in South America, spends 3 to 4 times more on transportation than coastal Chile. But don't think geography is destiny. Switzerland is landlocked and mountainous, and it's one of the richest countries on Earth. Singapore has almost no natural resources and was written off as unviable, yet today, it's wealthier per capita than the United States. Geography sets the stage, but it doesn't write the ending, which brings us to the most important factor of all. If you want to understand why countries succeed or fail, look at their institutions. And I'm not talking about universities. I mean the rules of the game: property rights, rule of law, corruption levels, contract enforcement, democratic accountability. Would you start a business in a country where the government could seize your assets tomorrow? Where courts favor whoever pays the biggest bribe? Where contracts aren't worth the paper they're printed on? Of course not. And neither would anyone else. Countries with strong institutions create environments where people can plan, invest, and innovate. Weak institutions? People hide money, flee abroad, or give up trying. Look at Botswana versus Zimbabwe. 2 neighboring countries, completely different outcomes. Both discovered diamonds, but Botswana built democracy, property rights, and sound management. Zimbabwe? Corruption, authoritarianism, and collapse. Today, Botswana's GDP per capita is 5 times higher. Or North versus South Korea. The same people, same culture, same history until 1950. The only difference? Institutions. South Korea built market-friendly rules and eventually democracy.
North Korea built a totalitarian state. Result? South Korea's economy is 30 times larger. The data is clear. Good institutions equals prosperity. Bad institutions equals poverty.
You've got decent geography and solid institutions. Now what? Smart economic policies. Countries that embrace trade, competition, and market-based economics generally grow faster. Trade creates specialization, competition, innovation, and gives consumers choices. Look at China after 1978. Mao's centrally planned economy kept hundreds of millions in poverty. Then Deng Xiaoping opened up markets. Result? Over 800 million lifted out of extreme poverty in 40 years. But it's not pure free markets or pure state control. It's smart regulation, strategic investment, and adapting policies to your country's needs. South Korea invested in education and industries. Singapore combined free trade with public housing and governance. Germany balances labor protections with export competitiveness. Countries that isolate themselves, Venezuela, North Korea, fall behind. Venezuela had the world's largest oil reserves, yet mismanaged its economy. Inflation hit 1,000,000%. Empty shelves, chaos. Lesson? Economic policy matters enormously, but even the smartest policies struggle against history. History casts a long shadow. Sometimes events centuries ago still determine who's rich and who's poor. Take colonization. European powers didn't treat regions the same. Settler colonies like the US, Canada, and Australia got institutions, infrastructure, property rights. Extractive colonies in Africa and parts of Asia were built to extract wealth. This is called path dependency. Your past shapes your present, which shapes your future. Breaking out of a bad path is tough, but possible. Germany, bombed and divided after World War II, is now Europe's powerhouse. Japan, rebuilt after atomic bombs, is the world's third largest economy. South Korea, one of the poorest countries in 1960, now rivals Europe. History matters, but it's not destiny. Culture matters too, but it's complicated. Values around education, trust, and cooperation can boost economic success. East Asia prioritizes schooling, and their rise reflects that. Trust reduces transaction costs and fosters cooperation, but culture changes when institutions and opportunities change. 50 years ago, some said Confucian culture made East Asia incompatible with growth. Today, they credit the same culture for success. What changed? Economic opportunities. Case Study 1. Singapore. 1965. Kicked out of Malaysia, no resources, no hinterland, race riots. Experts predicted failure. Today, GDP per capita, $65,000. Geography. Poor for farming, perfect for trade. Institutions. Rule of law, zero corruption. Policies. Free trade, investment in education. Culture. Citizen discipline, value of education. Case Study 2. Democratic Republic of Congo. DRC should be rich, $24 trillion in minerals, yet average income less than $1,000. Geography. Landlocked, dense jungle. Institutions. Weak, corrupt. Policy. Mismanaged. History. Brutal colonization. Culture. Diverse but divided. Shows how wealth can become a curse without good governance. Case Study 3. Poland. Communist rule until 1989. Today, steady 3 to 4% growth. Geography. Central, but now trade-friendly. Institutions. Democratic, EU reforms. Policy. Market reforms, investment in education. Culture. Resilience. Shows countries can rewrite their story. So why do some countries prosper while others don't? It's geography, institutions, policy, history, and culture, all interacting. Hopeful part? Geography and history you can't change. Institutions and policies, those are choices. Singapore, Poland, South Korea, they all chose differently. So here's my question for you. If you could change one policy in your country today to improve prosperity 50 years from now, what would it be? Comment below. I want to hear your perspective. If you found this valuable, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and check out our next video on Thanks for watching. See you next time.